to drag this
go,
bullshit out
let's
any
go,
more than needs to be fucking dragged out. We know what this is. We know what this is.
Yeah,
Hit the
yeah.
live button. Let's get in there. Yeah,
Oh,
we
Yeah,
live,
live.
right? We live. We know what this is. Fucking the episode where you guys gonna talk your shit. All right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
come
you're gonna
on,
pop
you
your fucking
dude.
shit. Go
Come
for it. You're
on,
gonna
you
kick a man while
dude.
he's down. This is the Europa League final review.
Yeah.
All right, and it was ugly. What do you want me to say?
I
What do you want
want
me to
you.
say, Al?
I want you to
Smiling over there with your beard, fucking red beard over there. My bro's out here smoking a peace pipe, but it's not peace, bitch. It's war right now, son. So what do you
This
guys
is a
want to say?
war pipe.
Snacks over there giggling, giggles McGee,
Yeah,
fucking giggles, a little lightheaded from Ramadan. What? I'm coming at all y'all.
found a new
Bro.
club yet. You
4-1,
let me see-
Arsenal take the L.
Let me say
Suck a
this, bro.
dick out there.
Let me say
This is
this,
gonna
bro.
be. This is
I've
Tom
never had
Elite.
so much
Sorry.
fun.
How's
I've
that?
never had so much.
All right, man. Let's not talk over each other, right?
Go for it, Snacks. I'm fucking heated, man.
6 years ago, or no, 5 years ago with the slip, that was probably all-time peak. This is a very close second in terms of how much fun I've had absolutely shitting on a team after they've lost either a final or they lost something important. Bro, this was bad, bro. This was bad. How are
Well, when your
Chelsea
team
going to
sucks worse, man.
Yeah, I don't know about that, bro. We won the Europa League.
That's
when
all
we
you
it.
got. That's all you got when your team
That's
sucks
all we
worse.
got, bro. Bro, deflect all you want.
That's all you got right now. It's true. In your season, that's all you got. It's my misery.
Europa
That's all you
League.
got. It's my misery.
You can be all butthurt all you want,
And
bro.
all you and,
Go for
and
it.
all you
Go
got,
for it.
bro. All right, man. This Tom's out here butthurt. He's absolutely taking swings at United. No one's brought up United whatsoever. I thought
This
this
got
was
nothing
a
to do
Europa
with my
final.
butt.
And this dude be wilding, bro. That I hate when we switch it over to United and we're talking about United. Come on,
Right.
Lee. Come on, Lee.
Cucking himself out over United. How about you focus on Arsenal and how they couldn't get it up tonight?
Bro, this is when it turned, bro. When friggin' Tom said on, I think it was 2 or 3 episodes ago when we had the discussion of Herrera versus Xhaka, and he said Xhaka was better. This moment right here was what it was culminating in, bro. Xhaka, bro, was starting in your Europa League team. Are you kidding me?
Man, hit the crossbar at least. Yeah, that right-footed shot from distance.
Come on,
you know what I
it's
mean?
right-footed
Like,
shot, bro.
Still, he
Get
did that
at
with his right. Look, man, this was an ugly, embarrassing game, and dude, like I've been dejected most of the day. I've been absolutely dejected. Everything was riding on this game. The future of Arsenal, the short and long-term future, because I really think this loss is really gonna set us back now. We'll get into transfers and all that stuff, but as far as the game, man, like 0-0 halftime. Al, you got us muted. There you go. 0-0 at halftime. What was said at halftime? What did Emery say? What did Sarri say? Like
the king of Europa. The king of Europa, man. He freaking took a fat goose egg during this game, bro, in that second half. You got to question him, dude. This is the time where you got to question him. And I remember last week for the season review, you said it's pending. What are you grading him? What are you grading Arsenal in the season? And what are you grading Emery out of 10, bro? I've been waiting.
The shit, man. He ain't the king of shit, all right? This dude ain't even the last king of Scotland, all right? This dude ain't about it right now, bro. I got to give this season, got to give it a D-, bro. Fucking D-, man.
All right, man. All right. Let's calm down.
No.
TV.
No.
Let's be serious. With the team he was working with, what did you expect? You guys being in the Europa final doesn't show your quality. It shows your luck and your good run of form, dog. You guys aren't a Europa final team. United isn't either. So this is not me coming at Arsenal sideways. United clearly isn't either. You guys should have been with us on our couch. Luckily, you got your hopes up. But it looks like, I was watching Arsenal Fan TV. What the fuck did you guys expect?
It's what you do when you get to a final and you play like that. It's like Wolves versus City. You get smacked 6-0. You understand the discrepancy between the power of the teams, the transfer budgets, all that. When you look at Arsenal, Chelsea, you expect a closer game, especially when we beat them this year 3-2. Like, so you can look at the budget and stuff like that, and okay, they spend more money. You know what I mean? In the transfer budget. But when you look at the quality of the teams, bro, you don't expect a 4-1 in the final. That's what's killing us.
I do, man. I do.
That's embarrassing.
with your defense, absolutely. You guys have been lucky all year with Aubameyang and Lacazette covering your asses, man. You guys have been leaking goals all fucking year, and you finally got exposed, man. Your defense, and to be fair, today was a day your offense didn't show up. Your defense never shows up, but your offense was cowardice. Guys like Willock missing easy chances. Guys like Lacazette not taking enough shots. Guys like Aubameyang playing out of fucking position, dog.
Well, my
Like,
man,
this
Iwobi
was
showed up.
the real
Alex
Arsenal.
Iwobi showed he wanted to start.
Sure, once every 20 games maybe.
I don't
Once every
care,
20
man.
games,
You
he
don't
doesn't
get your
score.
ass whooped like this in a final, bro.
No, you should.
D minus.
Yeah, you do when you fucking suck. No, it's a D minus for sure, bro. But like, what did you guys expect? You guys are dating a 6 thinking she's a supermodel. You guys are fucking mediocre as shit.
Yo,
When you buy that bitch plastic surgery, she better jump up a number.
There it is.
OP to check.
You guys are putting plastic surgery on a pig.
Bro, you're talking about plastic surgery, bro. You went
Hold
to
on, Al's going.
Oh, my bad, Al. You were cutting out. That's why. My bad.
Yo, I said without Peter Cech, Tom was lucky. You know, this is a different scoreline unless Peter Cech's pulling saves out of his ass, rolling back the clock. His final professional game. He's actually going back to Chelsea, be part of the technical staff after this game. You got former Arsenal man Olivier scoring the first goal against you goons, open up the scoring. Beautiful header, man.
Dude, I'm
you
so
talking about
happy
Agent
Olivia
Cech?
scored that. Agent Cech, dude.
Yeah,
Are you
talking about
serious?
Agent Check.
Oh, this is Czech's fault. It's not Koscielny.
What about
It's not
Socrates?
Monreal.
What about your
Not
boy?
Socrates.
Yo, Socrates was a grown ass man in the first half. He can't do it all himself. You know what I mean? You got men like Nacho out there, you know, just getting slipped, and Kolasanic, who we know is a defensive fraud. This dude's the definite defensive fraud, man. But I think what you said, bro, earlier, our attackers didn't show up. What was Aubameyang? You know what I mean? Lacazette, he was more, to me, he showed me more. Aubameyang, I mean, he was in and
out of
around
position,
here and
man.
there, but
he was
like
out of position.
dude.
Again, your manager needs to get it right and understand it's a 2-forward system, man. You can't
he did play.
Aubameyang on the right. No, he was on the right, dude. Look at his heat map. He played right mid. He started in the first half playing up the middle, like the first 20 minutes, and you guys were creating chances. Very wasteful, by the way, those first 20 minutes. Arsenal was all over Chelsea, but the rest of the game, you saw it shift. He went out wide. Lacazette was the point man up top, and on the left side was either Alex Iwobi or what's his name, Kolasanic coming up, or Ozil was more down the middle. But again, like Aubameyang's your top scorer, dog. Why isn't Lacazette the one out being to push someone out?
Because he doesn't have the raw speed
play,
Aubameyang does. And look, man, I think that
but what did that speed do for you outside?
we started with 2 up top. So if I'm looking at Aubameyang right there, like I got to put some of that onus on him too. You know what I mean? Because as a player, like, okay, you want to play manager's tactics. So if Emery was saying to him at halftime, no, we need you out wide, okay, that's a different story. But when he roams, he likes to drift from outside to in and make those runs. You know what I mean? So for him to be playing on the right side like that, like, you know, some of that's also got to go on him and him not converting his chances.
Let me ask you a question, bro. $350K a week. Where was he, bro? I can't find him. I couldn't find him. It was so funny because earlier today, I got into a massive argument with my buddy Amir over Ozil. He rates Ozil. Don't know why. I don't get it. I don't understand. Like, you know, we make the joke, oh, he doesn't show up for the big games, this, that. But, bro, this is a Europa League final. This is like to set yourself up going forward for the next 5 years or so. How do you not show up? Like, Wagwan, bro. How? I was flabbergasted. I was watching some of the highlights, and it's just like Huss said in the group chat, him walking back in midfield. We slate Pogba every week when he doesn't track back. And I know Ozil's playing.
We slate Ozil too. We compare literally Pogba to Ozil. We call them luxury players. They're both the same players in that they're both skillful when they do show up, but they don't show up week in, week out, and that's the problem.
How, man? How? Like, you know what? Like, maybe I have to rethink the whole Pogba thing again. But like in terms of just this game, like how? Like where is it?
I knew Arsenal were in trouble when Aaron Ramsey went down with an injury. Right there, I was like, it's gonna take a miracle for us to win the Europa League final. I was hoping we'd play Frankfurt, Eintracht Frankfurt. If we played them, I think we would have stood more of a chance.
Probably.
Chelsea, dude, this was like, I know we're shitting on Arsenal, but if you look at the Chelsea squad, like this was a potential great sending off for Hazard. Olivier Giroud basically just stamped his place in the Chelsea team next season. They extended his contract a little bit earlier. Like, You look at a guy like Conte. Conte was reportedly injured. Him playing in this game also was like another like gut punch that I wasn't really expecting. Like there were things that made up in this game, and obviously look at the Chelsea team. It's just a better quality team overall, especially defensively.
Look,
there were things that also went Chelsea's way, man. Like you got to give them props.
What you're saying about that, but like at the end of the day, like this was your World Cup. Chelsea was already in Champions. Hazard's leaving. Czech's retiring. Giroud is a fringe player, trying to play for a start. You guys were playing for paychecks. You guys were playing for ambition. You guys were playing for pride. You guys were playing for summer signings. Like you had way more incentive, and you just came out flat, dog. And DT, or I think we're talking Arsenal Fan TV, either DT or Troop said that you guys are a team filled with mentally weak players. And United's the same, by the way. Again, me shitting on Arsenal doesn't mean I'm bigging up United. We're in the same fucking boat, man. We got some talented players who can ball, but they don't ball week in, week out. Arsenal's last 8 games, they won 3, drew 1, lost 4. So, like, going into this game, I don't know what Arsenal fans were thinking. Were they high? Were they drunk? What do you think was going to happen, man?
Not a fucking 4-1 whooping. Not a 4-1 whipping, bro.
Why not?
Because we beat Chelsea earlier this year. That's why.
Okay.
And they beat us. Like so I was expecting a 2-1 or a 1-1 or, maybe even a 3-1 where they're leading 2-1. We get overexposed. And then, dude, you look at the mistakes. 2 of the goals. Maitland-Niles causing the PK on Giroud. That was bad. Like, to say that, like, what were we expecting? Were we drunk? No, we weren't drunk. I understand that, though, a lot of people maybe who have been overconfident because a lot of people, ever since we broke that Chelsea curse, we've gotten the best of Chelsea, dude.
Yeah.
So that's what I think lean to people saying, okay, maybe we have a better chance in this game.
Yeah, but that's wishful thinking, man. But in the last 8 games, you gave up 11 goals, dog.
No doubt, but I never believed that. But I thought it would have been better than 4-1, bro. In a final, dog, Arsenal-Chelsea in a rivalry. If Liverpool and Spurs play and Liverpool beat Spurs 4-1, you're gonna say the same shit, like, damn, bro, 4-1,
Nah, man, I'm not. Like, look, if Tottenham could easily get smacked 4-1. Liverpool is 4-1 better than Tottenham. Back to life, man. Tottenham is going in there with heart. Arsenal, you look at that Chelsea squad, Tom. We're talking paper. That team, other than Granit Xhaka, other than Aubameyang and Lacazette, your whole team is trash. All of them. You only have 2 players on that squad. Torreira, the fuck is he? Guendouzi, Xhaka, your whole back line, your wingers, everyone is trash except 2 guys, and those 2 guys carry. Aubameyang scored half. Leno's mediocre as fuck. Aubameyang scored half your fucking goals this year. If there's no Aubameyang, you guys are finishing 10th where you belong, dog. Like, you guys aren't as good. Sure, in a final, anyone can have a go.
A final's different,
me,
bro.
4-1, but no, it's not. Not when you shit Arsenal. For me,
a final is different, especially against a rival. Like, okay, maybe if it's a super big dog and the discrepancy is that big, but for you to be like, oh yeah, like 4-1, like, were you guys drunk? You weren't expecting a 4-1? No, man. Like, Al, am I crazy here? Like, to be saying that, like, you can see how it could happen with the shitty defense and the stats, but it's a final and it's against a rival. Like, you don't expect that.
Bro. It happens.
Craziest thing I've heard from some Arsenal fans.
If Leicester can smack you for 3 and Wolves can smack you for 3, Chelsea can smack you for 4, bro.
Well,
it's just the club you are.
Don't you let Al go, bro. Don't you let Al go, bro.
All right, go ahead, Al.
No, man, I'm saying the craziest thing I've heard since in Arsenal Fan TV is that people are calling for the whole team to be scrapped.
You're welcome for the links, boys. You're welcome.
But dude, the whole team, like the overreaction.
I'll get your face in the shot.
Why are you gonna spend £6,000 to fly out to this game? That's just foolish. You're not gonna win. And then you're shocked when you get blown out of the water. But to say sell Aubameyang and Lacazette is just foolish. It's ridiculous. Like we just said, those are the 2 guys propping up this whole team. Like that's who you build your team around. Even
I gotta side with Tom on this one, bro. Like, there's so many games where, like, bro, we've seen Wigan beat Man City, we've seen Crystal Palace take Man United to extra time. We've seen these games before. I understand, like, I agree with you, Tiki. On paper, league game, 4 goals, I wouldn't be surprised. But in a final, where, like, and what makes it worse is that this game, other than the fact that Chelsea can win a cup and Hazard's leaving and Giroud's trying to fight for a spot and Emerson who, by the way, is sick. Emerson, who's trying to solidify a spot. Other than that, man, this was Arsenal's game. Like, Arsenal needed to come out with the fire that Chelsea came out with in that second half, and they didn't. And that's why I say you have to question the manager, what he said at halftime, what he's done all season, the decisions he's made. Bro, I'm sorry. Like, you can rate Xhaka. He can put in a performance here or there, but I will never rate him as a player. And the fact that you start him in this type of a game.
Well, who else? That's the thing. It's like, is you going to go to Guendouzi, a 19-year-old against?
If you're the king of Europa, if you've won this trophy before, you should know what it takes to win. And if you look at this,
man.
If you go with those two,
I think he knows what it takes, and I think him getting here, it definitely proved that in some regards. Now, the quality as well. What was he working with? You know, because you got to be working with something, bro.
But bro, you go back to those Sevilla teams.
No, we're not good enough, and it's not only that; it's the mentality. Like all the chips being stacked against us, but the fact that we weren't like I don't want to say we weren't up for it because the first 10 minutes we dominated. We're all over Chelsea. We could not put the chances away. It's the fact that we conceded first, right after halftime. So you got to think Emery's giving his rah-rah speech. Yeah, boys, we're doing well. Boom, shot in the gut. How do you respond to that? Do you go 1-1 or do you go down 2-0?
But what about Emery's Sevilla teams? Can you name a player other than Ever Banega on those Sevilla teams that you're like, wow, like this guy is freaking sick?
You know what it is? Snacks, you know what it is? Again, DT or Troop said it. Finals aren't always about talent. Of course, if you have Messi, Ronaldo, blah, 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 great.
You got to want it.
Finals are about hunger. Exactly, man. And that Sevilla team, yeah, Banega was one of the stars. They had very few stars, but everyone on that team bent over backwards. And Huss called it out. You see Ozil walking back. How's that going to motivate your defense? Or even not even motivate, because it's not Ozil's job to motivate his team. How's that going to help your defense? How's that going to get morale up when you're down 2-0 and Ozil's walking back? Like, it's just not going to help. And he still
dudes like Aaron Ramsey got heart. He's a dude who's perfect for this situation, who could potentially grab the game by the scruff of the neck, or at least like get on the ball enough to settle the midfield to where, okay, now we can kind of put our fist or put our imprint on the game again. Like, you guys are right about Ozil, man. This game, dude, like, what did he do? Really?
Nothing.
What did he do?
You were playing with 10 men. You were playing with 10 men the whole game, bro.
You've been playing with 10 men most of the time he's on the pitch, man. You got 10 men most of the time he's on the pitch.
And that's my problem. And that's my point with, like, whether we slate all these other players that we compare Ozil to and whatnot, like, I've never gotten that feeling when I watch all these other players that you're down a guy. Like, you know what I mean?
Dog, it happens sometimes, man. I don't want to make this always about the Man United number 6.
No, but I'm saying
like we're down 1.
But like, as much as it would, like you just said it, most of the time when Ozil's on the pitch, bro, I've said it in the group chat. Ozil is good for 3 games this season. You get him 10 out of 10 Ozil for 3 games. That's it.
Dude, and by the way, for the Europa final, the last 5 Europa finals, 4 of them have had 3 goals. You know what I mean? 3 goals or more. So, like, the final, man, like, I understand what you're saying. You want heart. You're frustrated. But, like, it's not that – for me, it's not that ridiculous. It's disappointing. It's devastating. It hurts, you know, as an Arsenal fan to be smacked for 4. But, like, it's not like – it's not a shock result for me, put it that way. It's just not. It might be disappointing. It might be not quite what I expected. But watching – game and to be fair to Arsenal, they were cowards. This game could have been 5-3, 6-4. You know, one of those. That's what I mean.
It's just that having that sharpness. You know what I mean? Yeah. That extra sharpness in a final to step up. That composure of wanting it as well, and just to a certain degree, man, it's definitely mental. But as far as the manager goes, he put out his strongest lineup. Like, look, guys, if you look at the starting lineup, it's like. This is the strongest. Aaron Ramsey's out injured, so he can't start him. You know, there's other guys who he can't start because they're out. But for the most part,
who are you going to play, Mustafi? Who are you going to start? Who are you going to bring in?
Mustafi, bro.
That's my point. That's why I don't think he gets a D- this season, guys. I think it's emotional. Arsenal fans are mad, like Snacks was saying. Al was saying that, you know, Arsenal Fan TV wants the whole squad wiped out. Yes, most of those guys need to go. But you look at what Emery worked with, and he became with this team, one of the top teams in Europe. You know what I mean? Like, of course, you didn't get over the finish line. You only lost
he
to
fell short of
Chelsea
his goals
by 2 points. Yes, he did. No doubt.
If I want to do it objectively, when we could look at the nitty gritty, sure. But here's a realistic thing. Here's a realistic part: is he fell short of his goals, finished 5th in the Premier League, lost in the Europa League final, so we didn't qualify for Champions League. No other sort of cup, FA Cup, Carabao Cup, so no cups at all. We're in 5th place. His leash is going to be shorter next year because the owner is probably going to give him 50 million. So Arsenal, the reason why I'm so dejected, guys, isn't because of just the 4-1-L. It's the future of the club is now changed. So
for sure,
if we qualify for Champions League, most likely we're getting 100 mil plus to spend this summer. Now, reports have been it's going to be half that, 50 that they're going to give him.
And what do you do with 50?
What do you do with 50 nowadays, right? So the whole club has taken a step back, or if not taking a step back, stood still.
Stagnated.
While other clubs moved
forward. Yeah, plateau, basically.
So here's my point. What has Emre been given to justify you guys finishing top 4? Like, what tools, what players was he given? Because I projected you guys not finishing in top 4. Part of it was Arsenal salt, Arsenal sour grapes and hate. But the other part was looking at that fucking backline. Like, how much money has been given to rebuild the squad? When Klopp came in and struggled that first year, or Pep came in and struggled that first year,
well, we all agree clearly not enough. But the reality has been that Arsenal aren't going to spend big anyway. So that's what I mean is, like, the expectations for our club are lofty because of what Arsene Wenger has done. Arsene Wenger has underspent and overachieved with his teams. So Emery was not able to meet these goals, and the fans are going to be. You already see him on Arsenal fan TV. Like, dudes are going to be wilding. People are going to be calling for his name. Before you know it, banners are going to be out, especially if we get off to a poor start next season. So the pressure will be on Unai Emery, fairly or not fairly. Like, I agree with you. It's not fair. He hasn't been given much. He's overachieved with this team. He squeezed all the juice he can out of the team. But, dude, this is what the reality's been at Arsenal. Like, you don't get a lot to spend. And with whatever you've got, you got to make it work to these high expectations, or relatively high, of qualifying for the Champions League.
Yeah, that's my point, man, is that I think Emery, of course, like, you get offered from the job, you got to take it. But for me, if I'm Emery, man, I'm talking to my agent and I'm saying next year I'm going to focus obviously on, continuing this Arsenal project, but let's send out some feelers, because it's the same situation at, say, Newcastle, where, the manager's like, hey, I need money to do the job. I need money to do the job. And the job's just not getting done. Like, at some point, the ownership has to be held accountable.
What do you think the pressure is coming from? Is the pressure coming from the Arsenal fans, guys, or is it going to come from the ownership or
the fans?
The
fans. The backroom, bro. If the backroom cared enough to freaking want your team to win, they would give the guy more than 50 mil. It's literally it's guys like DT, Troops, Robbie, Claude, Ty, all the Arsenal fan crew. It's those guys that go on every week, become the number one freaking YouTube football channel in the world, who are like, it's not good enough. We need this. We need that. That's where the pressure comes from. Like, when you look at United, like, and it's the same thing with United. Like, bro, Ed Woodward, we've seen it. Like, he spent mediocrity, or whatever the word that you would put there is. He and like we've seen with the Glazers, like the Glazers, they don't care whether we win or not. They just want to turn a profit.
Yep.
And Arsenal's the same way. Like, we're in the same boat. You know what I mean? And like, us as football fans, seeing the past glory of what our clubs have done, that's what we want. So we put this pressure on the players and stuff like that, where maybe sometimes we should be like, oh, like, you know what? We are a 6th place team. We are a 5th place team. You know what I mean? Like,
so then what might end up happening then is, because
teams like Newcastle and Wolves.
If what you're saying is true, then Arsenal is going to continue at this same rate of C-, and eventually Emery will leave. And then what? Yeah. Then who comes? When we're a perennial Europa League team.
You'll start over and you'll spend money. So essentially, this is what's happening. You guys are squeezing as much as you can out of the old Wenger setup, in that you're going to give your managers $50 million and fight for top 4. And if you spend 50 and you make top 4, that's a huge profit. So that's your business model. Your business model isn't necessarily winning trophies for glory; it's winning trophies for money. So what's going to happen is you're going to keep on the slide until you hit seventh place, like United did. Then you're going to start the whole cycle again. You're going to get a new manager. There's going to be excitement. They're going to give him 75 to 100 mil. If he fails, next year he's going to get 50, and it's going to be a cycle.
It's not sustainable. What you're describing is not sustainable. And if you want to look at a football business,
it's not, Tom.
Then you're not going to end up turning a profit. You're better off throwing your chips on the table, going on and spending 250 mil, and pushing to win a trophy. But again, that's not my 250 mil that I'm spending.
Yeah, that's true. There are clubs like Middlesbrough who used to run Europe, who used to run England. Way before the Premier League. Actually, in the early '90s as well. Middlesbrough is pretty formidable. But they didn't spend, Doug. And you start on the slide. You got to spend. When clubs like United were reinvesting, when clubs like even Liverpool, who hasn't won, they always try to reinvest.
If Spurs win the Champions League final, Arsenal fucked. It's officially done. The party's done. It's over.
Pretty much there, bro. And what's funny is that it looks similar to the situation when you guys moved to the Emirates and you had to sell Van Persie, you had to get rid of Henry, you had to get realistically, this summer, speaking only, if you guys want to be up there and you want to challenge for top 4, because bro, next season, if you have a $50 million budget, no matter who you bring in, we're gonna come in for the season preview at the beginning of the season, and I guarantee you, Tom, you're gonna say we're a 6th place to 5th place team. We're gonna be fighting in Europa. We might get to the final again, and it might be the same old song and dance. The only way your team really gets, and this is why it's not the same situation as United, why we differ, is that you have to sell to get players. That's the thing. And that's what sucks is because your team's already so dry boned as it is.
Yeah.
And when you look at players,
the thing that's crazy is you brought up Highbury and we were in debt, but we've shown that we've been making profits. We sell out the stadium so much.
But the way your
jersey
business
sales,
is,
all that,
100%. But the way your business,
so the money's there.
But the way your business is set up, the way that Kroenke wants it
spent.
Exactly. But if you sell, and the two people that you're going to look at to sell because of the guys who'll get the most money is your two best players, which sucks, but it's the reality of it. If you want to get the 150 mil, you might have to sell the Lacazette to Barcelona or Aubameyang to wherever. You know what I mean? I'm not saying you should, but I'm saying that's the situation you're going to be in.
It's been rumored, a guy like Samuel Umtiti has been rumored with Arsenal around 44 mil. You can spend 50 mil smartly, intelligently, and sell other players and bring them in and reinvest. But now, without Champions League, why would Umtiti want to come to Arsenal now? What would stop him from going to Chelsea instead?
Playing time. He's for Umtiti specifically. He's not going to get into that 11 now.
In Chelsea's 11?
Umtiti? Barca's 11 is what I'm talking about.
Oh, no. That's what I'm saying. If he gets sold, I'm saying if he's been rumored, right? He's been linked out because of the knee injury. And even Barca just basically have said everyone's for sale except for Messi, right? So, and Ter Stegen and a few others. But a guy like that now in making his choice is the separation of Champions League football and Europa League football.
It's honestly going to come down to who
this has implications that I don't think we'll even see right now, but long term.
We'll see in the summer.
5 years from now, Tom, this season could have been that one where you look back on and you're like, damn, Arsenal really missed their chance to change their fortunes there.
You know what this was, man? This season for you guys was the cherry on top. You guys have been on the slide, even with Wenger there. The only thing that was holding back the Wolves was Wenger, man. We always knew that as soon as Wenger leaves, the real Arsenal will be exposed. And you can make the same argument with United. Only difference is that we spend, so we're able to kind of cover our ass temporarily. But overall, it's the same fucking problem. A club is on the slide, and you guys were on life support this season, essentially. And you guys showed heart, you showed fight, you got lucky in picking up Aubameyang for so cheap. You got lucky in creating a chemistry with Aubameyang.
It wasn't a tap-in. It wasn't a tap-in, but it was almost like a when you're gonna go steal a base, I know what you're saying. If you look at our quality, the teams we beat, Napoli, that was a little bit of an upset there.
Yeah.
Valencia, who had been playing decent. You know, they're not the best team as well, but you know, another good team that we upset. Like we almost stole a Champions League spot. Would have been fifth place, qualified in Champions League. So that's what I mean when we missed an opportunity here. It may end up coming around. Maybe it happens next season. I doubt it, but maybe it does. But this chance to leapfrog, even if Spurs were to win, you know what I mean? Like, it would hurt, no doubt. But at least we can say, okay, you know what? Now at least we're back in the Champions League. We're coming for you. We've won first time we've won a European Cup in like 14 years, like since like 1994, I believe. You know, like we'd be able to boast and say certain things. Like, you know what? We're on the come up now. Guys, we're stood on the same spot. The same pile of shit we've been stood on. And being times you got dog shit under your foot, and we still haven't wiped it off.
No, bro, you step backwards. This is a step backwards. This is not stagnant. Like, Mustafi's worse than he was when the season started. Koscielny's worse than he was when the season started. Monreal is worse. Xhaka's worse. Torreira, the jury's out. Gondozi's a kid.
Iwobi's better.
Iwobi's slightly better. His production's not there, but he's slightly better. He's still got step overs. Great, cute. Ozil
got volleys from outside the 18.
Start of the season. Okay. I gave him props in the group chat, man.
It was a nice goal, bro. That was a nice goal.
A nice goal is a nice goal, man. I give him props in the group chat. But most of your team is worse today than they were when the season started, Doug. So for you saying you're standing still, this is a step backwards because now you got to patch these holes and you have even less money to do it. It's going to be a rough season for Arsenal next year, dude.
I just don't want to overreact because I know I'm tight right now. This is literally
D- out here. Bro.
I love it, bro.
Like
I love it.
The final just happened,
bro. It's literally, bro. It all turned when you said Xhaka was better than Herrera. I'm telling you, bro. When you said that, I knew it, bro. I knew it, bro.
Oh yeah, that's what made it 4-1. Shut up, dude.
Al, take notes, Al.
Fucking 4-1.
Al, take notes. This is proof that the jinx is real. I don't know how else to say it, bro. I was saying to Amir in our chat, I was like, yo, Ozil's gonna have a good game. You think Ozil's actually gonna have a good game? Hell no, bro.
Yeah, you have your fucking fun and games. Yeah, Jinx McGee, bro. Go for it, bro. All right, we'll see where you at, man. You guys sixth place, man. Sixth place. You couldn't even get
I'll tell you what,
bro.
We're linked,
dude. We're gonna swipe that black card.
We're linked with all the top names. Arsenal is going to be linked with Dennis Suarez's, the Rafinha.
Who you going to get, though? You talking all that shit. Like you always do. Arrogant Man United fan. Always pop that shit.
You know why?
You're going to fire two managers next season?
You know why? We got a black card. That's why we're arrogant. We swipe, man. We swipe our problems away. Retail therapy, dog.
Retail therapy. That's it, bro.
Hey, you know, some of the richest people are some of the emptiest people inside.
Doesn't matter, man.
No value.
You got the money, bro. You can still go back. When you got money, bro, you could still go out and spend, bro. At the end of the day.
And we got value, bro. We're the richest club in the world still.
Internal value. That's what I'm saying. These guys. Dog, where's your philosophy? Where's all that sweet shit gone?
Hey, man.
Yeah,
hey, philosophy.
Soldier sold to the devil.
Overrated.
That's why you're sitting right underneath us right
philosophy? Now. What's Chelsea's philosophy?
That's why you're sitting underneath us.
We've been talking a lot about Arsenal. Let's talk about Chelsea just a little bit. Hazard leaving. He's going. He's definitely. This is the summer. You got to go out with a bang. You got to go out with a bang. You got to force the move. He's done all he can. 7 years. He's won a couple of leagues. He won the minuscule European trophy, but this is it, man. He's got to go, and it's
man. It's a wrap. Look. It's one of those situations. To me, yes. To me, this is the CR7 situation where he stayed an extra year at United because he was honoring the club. He was honoring Fergie, the club that broke him. Hazard, in my opinion, has stayed probably 3 years, not even too long. I don't want to say too long, but 3 years extra at Chelsea. It's time for him to go. Zidane wants him. He grew up watching Zidane. It's his idol. French language. Real Madrid is going to hook this guy up with the right money. It's just a matter of agreeing the fees. And I think Abramovich finally is going to let go, man. It's time, Doug. If there's any honor at Chelsea in the ownership or the owner himself.
There isn't, bro. There's
no honor among thieves, bro.
Yeah, there is.
These dudes been buying 15 and 14-year-olds, playing them illegally, saying, "Yeah, now we'll pay you direct. I got
You
that
mean
cash."
the same thing? You mean
Hey,
the same thing Barcelona and Real Madrid have been doing?
yeah, there's no honor among thieves, man. That's what I'm saying. You will buy Coutinho 1 year and we'll sell him the other year. Like, there's no. This is about production. So if and with the transfer ban as well, it's more cutthroat now. So if they really want to keep him, they're gonna keep him if they really want to. And if he really wants to go, he can make a fuss out of it. But the thing is, he's linked with Real Madrid.
They'll keep him,
right?
But he'll leave on a free next year, bro. And that money they get now will be used after their trip.
So he's linked with he's linked with Real Madrid, right? And they've been struggling to get rid of Gareth Bale. He's stuck in an Ozil situation where the value of the player does not meet the salary.
But if you get Hazard, if you're Real Madrid, go ahead.
There's no Real Madrid's not the club that needs to sell to buy. They want to sell, just because it's good business. But let's not pretend like Real Madrid wants to sell. But the
the FIFA financial fair play as well with them might get him because Bale's like I think he's at like the fourth most expensive salary, and then you got like other guys they're looking to offload too. So what I'm saying is, in terms of like they may be able to get just Hazard, but if they're trying to
so what
get other dudes as well, I think it's gonna be a problem for them.
Yeah, no. Other dudes, yes. If they're looking at Neymar, Mbappe, all this, yes, to move. They have enough money to make one major signing, and that's because they let go of Ronaldo. They freed up that cap. So essentially, Hazard's going to come in and take that Ronaldo cap. Not the same amount of money, but I'm saying that cap space. They have cap space. They haven't signed anyone big last year. Asensio and all these youngsters, Isco, like those are baby money compared to them. Sergio Ramos kind of wants out. Real Madrid doesn't want to let him go, but China will pay through the nose for him. So if it makes sense, they will. Real Madrid is going to make a blockbuster signing, and I think their first start is Hazard, dog. This is different. So historically, we've all seen this. Hazard flirting with Real Madrid. It's been happening for like 4 years. But this is the first time where it's actually less emotional. Like you hear Hazard talk. He has this smirk, this calm about him. Whereas years before was more like that desperate when I said he's basically swinging his ass at Real Madrid. This year seems way more composed. Like there's a lot of things moving in the background. The Chelsea, brass or whatever, the generals haven't come out and denied the move, So like this is very different from historically. So and Real Madrid is in a rebuild. Dog, they fired their manager and hired him back a few months later.
They fired two managers in one season.
And hired the old manager back. So this is the year where Real Madrid really spends, especially with Barca embarrassing them basically and winning. Them getting knocked out of
transfer ban changes stuff. It change stuff.
I'll say this
stuff somewhat, but like the rich clubs get by. Look at Man City right now is in trouble with transfer ban. Nothing's gonna happen to them. Maybe they'll get a 2-window ban, but they'll get enough time to make.
Well, if they lose their star player, right, the man who scored 16 goals and was 13 assists in league, like, 15. and they can't replace him, that's the issue.
They're losing him.
I'll say that
right now. They're losing him. It is an issue. They're in trouble, but they're losing him this summer.
And I'll say this too. Even if they don't want to sell him, I wouldn't put it past Hazard. Not because he's like a mercenary, even though he kind of is a mercenary. He'll sit out, bro.
At the same club for like 10 years, dude.
But like he's been flirting with a move for 5 of those 7 years.
Sure, dude. Yeah,
like you know what I mean?
He's got the same loyalty as Pogba, bro.
Same loyalty as De Gea, bro. Same loyalty as De Gea.
He's not a mercenary.
But I'll say this. He will sit out. He knows, bro, he's 29, bro. He's 20. He's going to be turning 30. Like, he doesn't have time at the top left.
Yeah.
Like, as much as we like to romanticize Ronaldo and Messi, who are taking it into their twilight years and still balling out, bro, Hazard, he's never reached that level. And, like, Father Time doesn't lose, bro. Father Time's undefeated. So, there's going to come a point where he'll force the move himself. Like, his agent, his backroom staff.
What I'm saying is that now, obviously, guys, like, I think the probability is he'll go this summer, but what's holding me back, what I'd say is that like 40% is this transfer ban. And they could just say, bite the bullet, and be like, shit, you know what? This dude is too valuable to lose if we can't replace him. We can't depend on an aging Pedro Willian and a young Pulisic to carry us next year, especially if Higuain's loan gets eliminated. Like, who are you going to rely on for your goals? Giroud?
Let me ask you a question, Tom. With Hazard, are they guaranteed a top 4 spot next year?
Nothing. No one's guaranteed a top 4 spot in the EPL.
And that's why they'll sell him. because they're not guaranteed anything. They've got they got nothing to lose.
But you can't guarantee life. Like you have to work in probabilities. What's the probability they make top 4 if Hazard stays?
It's higher. It's higher.
Likely higher. You know what I mean? Like significantly higher, let's say, than losing
him. You're also assuming that Chelsea right now doesn't have a deal in the works to, I'm going to say this lightly, replace Hazard. Not his production. It's like when Ronaldo left, dog. We knew no matter who we bring in, it'll either take time to replace his production
or it won't happen.
2 or 3 other players have to step up and fill that void.
Oh yeah, you're gonna have a plan. And I'm sure they have a plan. But there's the thing here. There's the real thing that is gonna give you production versus and here again it's a little detail if their appeal's been rejected. So if Chelsea are literally banned from the beginning of the summer from making a transfer, like usually there's like a little window that teams will try
now,
get.
Bro. The window's literally right now.
You know what I mean?
Right now.
But like June 1st is when everything is official, right? So if they, I'm saying
that's 3 days.
If they're not allowed, if they're not permitted, if it comes out that from June 1st onwards, they cannot bring in any players other than the ones like Pulisic who've already been signed and stuff like that, then there will be an issue.
I don't think June 1st is gonna. I know, but I don't think this thing kicks off on June 1st. Is my point. I think they're still in that appellate process. So they got rejected. So now they're taking it basically to the Supreme Court of sports. So it's still churning away. The difference is usually it never goes that high. When it goes that high, it's very big trouble for the clubs. So right now they're doing the business. Like Snack said, sure, man, you can hold on to Hazard, the sure thing. But we've seen Hazard in a year when he doesn't want to play, dog. We've seen him. Chelsea finishes 10th. So are you like there's history based on it. There's probabilities. When Hazard is unhappy, whether it's the manager, whether it's the training, whether it's the club itself, his production dips. And now he's 29 and he's going to leave for free next year. So you're basically going to spend this year trying to convince him to stay, trying to convince him to play. He's going to be dicking around, holding his dick in his hand. And then what? The smart business is just let him go. Yes, it's going to hurt, man. But rip the Band-Aid off. You got Pulisic. He's not going to replace Hazard numbers, but he's a promising cat. You got Hudson-Odoi. You need a number 9. They can
coming back off an Achilles
within a month. Yeah. Oh, for sure, dog. I mean, it's a challenge, bro. It's a fucking challenge. I'm not sitting here saying and assuming they keep Hazard doesn't mean, of course, probabilities are better. Actually, not.
I'm just saying you better replace him with someone. If Hazard goes, you need to replace him with someone. They need to bring in a goal scorer because if they are banned from bringing in any players and they let Hazard go,
but they have time.
Dudes may be in the toilet.
That's why they'll let. Yeah.
Dudes may be in the toilet.
Before we move on, I just wanted to give a quick shout out to Emerson, fringe left back. Bro, Tiki called it like 3rd week of the season. Alonso's a fraud, bro. Even though they were winning, they went 8 unbeaten. He's like, yo, this guy, suspect.
He's a piece of shit. He's a piece of shit. No, he's not suspect. He's fucking fraudulent, dude. He
should have been your fraud of the season, bro. He should have been your fraud of the season. You missed your chance. But big ups to Emerson, who had the assist on Giroud's goal. Played at Roma before, and then he came. It was like the most pointless signing at the time. But bro, like you stick with the club for a certain amount of time or whatever. It's actually like amazing to see. Like I was actually proper happy to see Emerson balling out today.
Oh, Snacks' new favorite players, ladies and gents.
Relax.
In about a week time, Emerson's the worst left back I've ever seen. Watch next season, dude.
Relax.
You're gonna hit that reverse moonwalk.
Bro, he's just butthurt that Arsenal got fucking dick slapped today.
Exactly.
Hazard took his fucking schlong out and was smacking Emery in the face. You see this? You see this crowd?
Yo.
I'm the king of Europa now. That's what Hazard said.
Nah, bro, and you over there working with your little tweezers, trying to fucking jack yourself over. You can't get up with your little dick.
Yeah.
You got a micro penis over there, man. Get your tweezers, buddy. Get your tweezers.
Don't you wish you guys kept Giroud, bro? I try to tell you, this guy, man.
Bro, I was just talking to one of my dudes. It's like we spent over $100 million on 2 strikers. Man, Giroud gets a goal and a dime on us. Like, ugh.
I'm telling you, man, this he's just a game.
Nah, bro, you were shitting on him. He didn't have any goals in France. He has 1 goal in the whole season.
Me?
Bro,
I was shitting on
bro,
him.
in the World Cup, you're like, bro, won in the World Cup, you're like, he had no goals. He had 1 goal up until February. This.
Yeah. You remember.
Oh, man. You know what? I'm going to leave this to the PFC Nation to figure out how to let me know how I felt about Giroud since he was at Arsenal. I've had this dude's back. Now you guys might have been gassing him and saying this dude's fucking world class.
Never.
Giroud's like Fellaini. He's one of those dudes who's just an X factor. He's a difficult guy to mark. Is he gonna bang a lot of goals? Well, probably not, but he's an important cog in the machine. And I've said that at Arsenal, bro. So me shitting on him on the World Cup must have been something out of fucking context because what he brought to France is the same thing he brought to Arsenal when me and Tom would debate, and I said, no, dude, Giroud, keep him. Is he, going to start all 38 games? No, but you're like, nah, get rid of this dude. Then eventually you softened and said, look, maybe he's a bench player.
I say he's not a
And
starter.
eventually you got rid of him.
Yeah, said he wasn't a
He
starter.
is a starter, man. He's a starter in a final.
I just remember you shitting on him. I remember the arguments we had.
Floundering Higuain.
Well, if we're going to be talking about Chelsea strikers, we got to talk about on-loan striker Tammy Abraham and transitioning from Chelsea and Arsenal to the other final that happened earlier this week was Derby versus Aston Villa in the playoff to get back into the Premier League. Villa won what, 2-1? Was it 2-1?
Yeah.
And bro, you guys had yourselves a little debate in the group chat. I didn't bother to read half of it because I don't really care about Jack Grealish that much. But come on, man, what was the deal about? What was the deal? What was the sibling rivalry going on here?
Dude, I was just saying, look, man, when you move it's a very like delicate time. There are players who move too early, and I think Tom leans towards that side. Me, I'm more of a risk taker, like throw him in, and if they don't fucking make it, they don't deserve to make it. At that time, not forever, but at that time they don't deserve to. Like Zaha going to United, for me, was the right move, man. He got there. He should have stayed at United, but obviously for political, personal shit, it didn't work out for him. It had nothing to do with his ability. It was the manager at the time, David Moyes. Like, I think Jack Grealish should move to Spurs if Spurs come in for him. Now, does that mean his playing time might be at risk? Does that mean his trajectory might be at risk if he gets there and all of a sudden he gets 0 minutes? Yes. But for me, I look at his talent and I look at talent development. At some point, we saw that Mbappe had to leave Monaco, bro, and go back to PSG. He's won that battle so clearly. It makes it easy now to look back and say, of course, that was the right move. But when he was making that move, everyone was like, wait, there's Cavani there. Like, where's this Mbappe going to play? And he found a way, and now he's basically almost forcing Cavani.
No, we knew where he was going to play on the wing,
saying Jack Grealish,
on the right wing.
Yeah, but now they're going to sell Cavani and put
Jack
Mbappe
Grealish
up top and then buy a right winger.
And Mbappe also made history in the Champions League.
Yeah, that's a
being the youngest player to ever score that many goals. So that's to me that's a bad example, dude. Because
I'll give you an example. I'll give you an example that I don't know if it correlates exactly with Jack Grealish, but I look at Callum Hudson-Odoi, and we've talked about him on the show, and whether he should he should stay or should he go. I think he should go, but he should not go to a team that's less. So if like a Watford came in for him, world record bid, whatever, he shouldn't leave Chelsea to go to Watford. And I know Chelsea are notorious for ruining talent. We've seen it time and time again. But I don't think you should take a step down to get playing time just because, bro, we've seen players ball out.
Here's the thing, guys. Like, you guys like painting a brush over, like, how I feel about this topic. Like, every player is the same, dude. Like, this... My bro is just saying this, but this coming from the dude who said, oh, I like to bleed players in, bleed them in. And I've been the dude saying, look, if I think he's special, throw him in the fire. So clearly when we talk about this, at times it's about the player. And for me, when I look at Jack Grealish, not on Mbappe level, like, you're not that nice, dude. Like, slow down. He's 23 years old. His team's just made it back to the Prem. Now, Aston Villa, here's what you have to weigh. Is Aston Villa, is he surrounded by shit? Meaning, is it just championship players? Or is he going to have some Premier League players? Like Wolves, that was a team who, when they came up, they invested in the summer. But you look at that squad, man, guys like Diogo Jota, João Moutinho, Ruben Neves. Like, you can name at least 5 to 7 players who were Premier League level. If Aston Villa, they're a team where if they don't make investments in the summer, they're not bringing anyone in who's of a higher standard and they stay the same, okay, then I could see you being like, all right, maybe Grealish should leave. But if they're investing, they're showing, look, man, we're gonna go for it. I don't think it's the worst move for him to stay for this year and not only get more playing time for sure, but be the man, get the most touches on the ball, get those ducats, right? And carry and see if you can bring your team up to a Europa League or Champions League spot.
Look, I hear you. He already did that at Aston Villa, and we can sit here and say investing, right?
When?
So Fulham invested the most. This season, Jack Grealish was the most touches. He's the captain. He already led.
Okay, and even when he was in the level did he do it?
No, but hold on.
Pause. It does matter. It does matter.
When he was in the Premier League, last time Aston Villa were in the Premier League, he was starting a majority of those games. He was playing. Maybe he wasn't the focal point, but who could you look? Who could you look back?
Point, and he was a young dude.
Name the player who was the focal point of that Aston Villa team, bro. No one. Jack Grealish was being rumored with moves to Tottenham, to United, to Arsenal.
Okay.
Even 4 years ago, bro.
Again, a dude I've been using, Ruben Neves. When Ruben Neves was at Porto and he moved to Wolves, everyone was like, why are you going to Wolverhampton? What is this about? You're taking a major step down from a Champions League team. Look what this dude, Ruben Neves, has crafted himself as. He's gotten playing time, since he was 18, 19 years old. His team's made it to the Premier League. Now they finished 7th, right? So, and now he's been linked with Liverpool mainly, but other big clubs want him. Like, I want him at Arsenal. So, it's not always, I'm going to go to the bigger club, and that means... And it depends on the player's quality. Jack Grealish, to me, is a good player with very, very high potential, but I don't see I think it's a year too early to make the jump for him.
For me, Aston Villa, if Jack Grealish was on Wolves coming up, or even Bournemouth, let's say Bournemouth, because Wolves is a bit of a freak team. If he was on Bournemouth, I would say stay. Like Brooks is nice. Stay, bro. Stay. Because you're playing the right system. You have a club that's ambitious, that's going to pick up the right kind of plays and when you're going to learn. For me, Aston Villa is coming up, and I don't know if you watched that championship game. Like Snacks is saying, there's fucking nothing on that team, and you can invest this summer.
Bro, half of their players
invested over the summer. No, let me finish, Snacks. Fulham invested over the summer, and so what? Like just because Aston Villa, I think, won $200 million to get into the Prem. So essentially, they're probably going to spend $100 million of that on players. For me, Aston Villa's gap to get to the level of Wolves, I'm not even talking to get to the level of like Spurs or Everton.
Wolves is top 7.
They have to buy so many. No, but when Wolves started their build, they started that build in the championship. You know what I mean? They started building that team in the championship. Then they plugged in, filler guys when they came up.
What do you think Aston Villa would be trying to do?
No, but they're not. No, but they're
right now they're not there because they just won the championship. So
Tom, my point is when Wolves came up, they looked better than Aston Villa. They had a better base to start from. For me, Aston Villa coming up is like Fulham coming up, where the base is just way too low to get the kind of talent. Wolves started their build like 2-3 years before they even got to the Prem, and they had quality players. So again, Wolves is a very unique example in that their build was almost like Bournemouth, where they started getting these semi-secret stud players in the championship, and by the time they got to the Prem, they just had to plug. And then for me, Wolves.
Here's the point that I think. Here's the point that I think that you're forgetting, Tom. If he stays at Aston Villa and he doesn't ball out and they get relegated, I look at Tom Kearney at Fulham.
There goes the
Tom Kearney at Fulham. He was their guy in the championship. Came up. They invested, but he was supposed to be still the main guy, get all the touches. What happened, bro?
And what about, what's his name? That little left back, right back kid.
Sessegnon.
And what about Seri? Seri was linked with top 6 clubs.
Sessegnon, still, if you're a talented player, you're still going to be linked. And especially when your team gets relegated, Snacks, they'll still, EPL teams, if you're EPL quality,
but what I'm saying is,
now in your scenario, because I can twist your scenario around and put a what if of my own, but let's play to your scenario, right? Worst comes to worst, Aston Villa, they come up, they go back down. People still get plucked from those teams. And if he's, okay, maybe he doesn't have the stats, but if you see the quality on the ball and these coaches, these scouts, they go deeper than just goals and assists. Right?
No, I understand. But what if he shits the bed? What if Jack Grealish shits the bed? What if he doesn't do well? And I know
he had a bad year. Then that could happen to any player at any
But then he would have missed his chance. He would have missed his chance, have to spend another year in the championship with Aston Villa, and then we don't know. That window might close, bro.
Will he though? Because now he may not hit the Spurs, right? But He could be
Yeah,
potentially
but
on
that's
a
Tom. But
Bournemouth
that's
or a different team.
exactly. That's the point, dog. That's what we're arguing fine margins. We know Jack Grealish
Mm.
is a Premier League player. He's going to be in the Prem. If Aston Villa goes down, someone's picking it up. Be it Everton, be it Watford, be it Newcastle. Someone is
Easy,
picking up Jack
easy.
Grealish. My point is, there's a specific team in the top six, and if he was linked with Liverpool and City, I'd say Jack, stay, get your playing time. But there's a team that made zero signings that sold players. Actually, let's say negative signings, bro, because they've sold players like Dembele in the winter. There's a team that's been interested in you for 2-3 years. For me, I see this as college. Should I turn pro or should I stay another year in college and either take that risk of juicing my price, which could happen for Jack Grealish at Aston Villa? But for me, it's like there's a specific team where you could go and compete with the best. He's not going to walk onto the Spurs team.
No
But
doubt.
I'm looking at his talent and I'm saying, guy like Dele Ali, who takes fucking weeks off at a time, Jack Grealish can come in and battle with him. Guys like Mora, who are in and out. Guys like Son. Guys like Kane, who are injured. Ericsson might not even be there at the end of the summer. Might be
You're
at
not
Madrid.
battling with Son, bro.
No.
Son.
Not specifically Son. What I'm saying is in and out of the squad. There's a lot of rotation in that Tottenham squad, dog. There's a lot of players. A guy like Harry Winks all of a sudden is a starter at Tottenham. An 18-year-old. A guy like, what's his name that they're bringing up to, that little blonde number 6 kid. He's coming up. I can't remember his name, but PFC Nation, you know what I'm talking about.
Oliver Skip.
So, yes, Skip. Exactly. So Pochettino's a very unique manager in that when he signs you, he's going to play you, man. He's not like going to Chelsea with Pulisic where we're like, dog, we don't know if this dude is even going to get any minutes.
But it's
So all I'm saying
it's
is
not always
Jack
true,
Grealish
man. Like, and it
linked with
depends on the
Spurs.
position
No,
you
it's
play.
not
This is
always
what,
true, dog.
and that's why I look at a dude like Jansen. It's like, yeah, Pochettino
No, but he
signed
was
you, but
shit,
you didn't
man.
play.
Nah, he was shit. He was shit.
Yeah, but
no,
also,
Jansen was shit.
but
Jansen was
why
shit.
did
He
why
got
did they
his
sign him
chances.
though? But
Because
he got
his
signed because
chances.
of potential, because he had a decent year. Like, you get signed for all, and it's the same thing with Jack Grealish.
Absolutely.
You get signed because you look like you got potential. You do that. All of a sudden, you're not getting as much
but
time.
that's a
You lose
pessimistic
confidence.
view for
So
me.
even like dude like Jack Grealish, even when he was younger, this dude was known for his off the field shit, dude. So like, if he's not getting playing time, if
So
he's
was
not happy,
Dele
is he?
Ali. So
Is
was
he?
Dele
Is
Ali.
he? No. Dele Ali was more known for like his temperament on the field.
No, but
right?
off the field too, man. Off the
But
field
Jack
too.
Grealish
He's a bit of
more
a head
so.
case.
Jack Grealish more so with
yes,
the drinking, driving, all this
yes,
shit, dude.
for sure,
Wilding
for
out.
sure,
So
for sure.
don't get me
Wilding
wrong.
out.
I just think you're a year too early on this. I see the talent. I see it's there. And I don't think you should just go make the jump just in case I fail with Aston Villa. That, to me, that's not enough, dude. I think playing time at this age, he's 23 years old. Playing time is crucial at this age. It's the most important thing. I think you should prioritize that, albeit for an Aston Villa team who may not do so well. But go be the man on your team in the Premier League. Once you can establish yourself there, because it's not like he's balled ever like that in the Premier League. Like, okay, he was a young player with potential, but no, dude, your team got knocked out.
Yeah, for me,
like,
I see it, man. My angle for me comes from not just. So this might be because of my personal experience. So I played in college, and I started basically from game 1 freshman. Game 2 freshman year I started. And then over the summer, like once I graduated college, I went to play semi-pro in Canada. And I got to a team that was super highly talented. And I wasn't an automatic starter. And I remember my game in those 3 months I was with that team, I learned way fucking more than I did in the 4 years I started. So I apply that even to sports like, let's say, UFC, right? If you're a talented fighter, if you're in a shit gym, not being tested week to week, I'm talking Monday through Friday here. I'm not talking game day. Because game day, everyone shows up. Or not shows up, but at least, game day, everyone's on an equal playing field. You know what I mean? There's 11v11, man on man.
See, that's twice now.
Monday through Friday, are you training with world-class talent? And sure, your playing time might be down. But for me, I'm saying for Jack Grealish, he's been linked for so long with Spurs. If this was his first year linked, I'd be like, all right, maybe this is promotion gas. But like Snacks is saying, he was linked before they even fucking went down. At some point, this window's going to close. And odds are, so this is a philosophical debate between me and you. Odds are he's staying at Aston Villa, and I'm not going to be mad at him. He's the captain. They just came up. The story's there for him to stay. What I'm saying is I wish he was a little bit brave enough to take a risk. This is a risk. I'm not saying go to Tottenham and this guy's going to make it.
There's a calculated risk.
Yes,
There's a
it's
difference, right?
Yes, it's a calculator for me in that you get to train next to Erickson, Ali, Harry Kane. So when a guy like Winks can come in and do work, and you see Grealish's talent, he can come in and compete. It's
See,
not nothing's
to me,
guaranteed
that's
once you're
twice
top
now
six.
where you've made the distinction or the jump from college to like semi-pro. And I think the margin, obviously, there's a large margin between Aston Villa and Spurs, but these are professionals at the end of the day, right? Like Grealish been getting paid to play football, like it's his
Yeah, but
career.
that's the
So like, okay, like
margin. That's why I said.
you
That's why
may
I said
train
college to
like
semi-pro, not college to pro.
well, college to semi-pro, sure. But you, but
Exactly. I didn't go
yeah,
pro. Like it's
but
very
even that
close.
distinction is different
It's
because it's different because of the time you dedicate to the sport. Now, college, you got to bounce it with books, right? So you're not able to really put all the time and resources into the sport and gain all of that knowledge. So to me, that's a false equivalency. It doesn't work, dude. Like I get your point, what you're saying, but Aston Villa is also a professional club. Aston Villa's got history in the Premier League. Now, the quality of players vast, obviously, from Christian Eriksen and them dudes, but dude, it's not the difference isn't what you're saying. And for him, he'll
it's
be in the
pretty.
same league.
It
He'd be
is,
in the
man.
EPL. He'd be captaining his team, carrying his team, knowing what it is. All right, to have that responsibility. I think he'd be a better player for it in the long term, staying for this 1 year and then moving to Spurs. What's the rush? Why couldn't he go to Spurs at 24 potentially? If he's that
Because you're
nice,
assuming at
right?
24. No, you're assuming. There's a lot of assumptions. And I'm
And so are
saying, like
you.
Snacks is saying, when there's a window. No, I'm not. Absolutely not. I'm
you're,
saying
you're,
if
you're
there's a window
assuming
to
he's
jump,
gonna go in there, right? Fight for his spot,
jump.
most likely do well and get some
No,
playing
I
time.
said risk. No, not at all. I said go in there and compete with the best. That's what's going to bring the best out of you, competing with the best. Now, I didn't say he's going to go to. I said the odds of him going
Can't talk
are more
about Spurs for
probable
much
that he'll
longer,
get in
man.
there, fight, and win. No, that's fair, man. That's fair.
This episode's supposed to be 30 minutes, bro. I don't know what the fuck happened, man.
We talked
That
about
was Snacks, bro. That was Snacks bringing up the fucking championship. We were done with the Europa a long time.
I heard.
Out.
I gotta go,
I'm
man.
tapped out, bro.
All right,
Yeah.
fellas.
I'm butthurt.
We'll call it there. We'll call it there. All right, Tom,
All right, guys,
sleep it off, brother.
Fuck
Sleep it off, Tom.
Chelsea.
Sleep it off, Tom.
Now, fuck that. I hope there's more of this to come next year for Tom, yo. Tired of him shitting on United all year.
Sleep
shitting
these
on
nuts
Lingard,
off.
shitting on fucking Smalling, all these dudes.
Worth
bro.
shitting on.
Club.
Worth
Bum
shitting
club.
on. Fans
Very
FC.
special. It will be special. Peace.
All right, later,
Fans
fellas.
FC.